I think there's no getting around avoiding it anymore. In case you haven't noticed, Nintendo released a good bunch of new trailers for Kirby and the Forgotten Land since its announcement with details of... well, I'm actually not sure. Apart from being busy with videos coming in the future, the only thing I noticed was how everyone rejoiced how amazing the game looks, and I'm sitting here meanwhile thinking... First, I extremely appreciate your interest in my opinion of anything regarding Kirby, since I'm just an ordinary fan like most people. While all the footage is exciting enough, I think comments stating how they want to see my reaction and thoughts on the topic made me even more fuzzy, to be honest. But I deliberately didn't watch the trailers because of one specific reason. Well, it's nothing special, just spoilers. Now I know how that must come across. Spoilers in a Kirby game. Waddle Dees get kidnapped. Kirby games have no stories or lore. To that I say, spoilers don't only apply to the narrative of a game. If you look at Nintendo's recent behavior of how they tend to advertise their games, you can see they don't really care about showing 90% beforehand. Of course, it's your own fault for clicking on trailers and complaining about spoilers. Believe me, there are plenty of people who do that. But most of the time I can hold myself back and completely shut down everything related to the respective topic. The reason why I'm so sensitive to spoilers consists of two roots. First, they obviously ruin the fun for me, and second, the Forgotten Land is not a regular game I just kinda look forward to. Let me explain these points. If I think back, both final bosses and secret final bosses of Triple Deluxe and Planet Robobot got spoiled for me, because people really love to put essential moments on their thumbnails on day one of the game's release. While this is way harder to avoid, it's completely my decision to not watch a whole trailer, and based on the general reactions of the Forgotten Land, I noticed all the insights sound very substantial, to say the least. This is nothing I only apply Kirby to. If I think back, the exact moment I stopped watching footage beyond the initial announcement and maybe a second trailer was Super Mario Odyssey. Here I've seen nearly every clip Nintendo posted before release because I was so hyped and just could not restrain myself. The same goes for Breath of the Wild, when Nintendo presented a detailed E3 demo and a good deal of information I should have avoided. Even though I ended up enjoying these games, there were no real surprises left because no wonder I basically experienced 80% through trailers. Imagine how it must have felt like to suddenly fall into the abyss in the Wooded Kingdom in Odyssey only to find yourself in a completely new area, filled with mysteries and a T-Rex, but no, I watched the E3 footage, so no surprises allowed. This moment works great because it subverts the conventions of the genre and plays with the expectations of the player by signalizing him how there's always something to find in Odyssey. The complete opposite happened with Breath of the Wild, luckily, where I was so flabbergasted when I found one of the dragons being consumed by malice and begging for help. Every time I knew what was going to happen, all sense of curiosity was gone, because the appeal of exploring something is the ignorance of the unknown. Link very much himself awakens at the shrine, unaware what just happened, and although he's supposed to be the link to the player, it felt very unfair to know nearly everything surrounding his circumstances, but Link not. By the time I finished both games, I was just left thinking, how would have been my perception if I didn't know a thing? Would I like these games even more? It was at this point where I stopped watching any footage regarding Kirby Star Allies, which was just a few months away by the time of Odyssey's release, and to no one's surprise, it was the best decision I could have made. Although I expected the traditional progression of a Kirby game with 6 to 7 worlds, classic settings like ice or desert, and the obligatory boss fight at the end of each world, I was a little impressed how Star Allies mixed things up and didn't rely on a system we've already seen in games before. Maybe it's also for this reason why I like Star Allies more than the consensus, but whatever the case may be, it was the right decision for my playstyle. Now, obviously you cannot compare a game like Breath of the Wild with Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Zelda relies on the sensation of discovery, which simply cannot be reproduced in trailers and happy families in their living rooms. How you experience an open world and what decisions you make only depends on you, which is why, although being spoiled, there's much more to look forward to in that kind of genre. The Forgotten Land, on the other hand, will have linear level, at least I think. The new trailers may have gave us a more clear look on how the game is structured, but I think it's very safe to say they are not going to be open level akin to Mario Odyssey. Please don't tell me if this is the case though. It will be more something like 3D World in terms of level design, which relies focus on carefully crafted moments because this is the main advantage of a linear game. Especially the setting is so mysterious, I don't want to see a single theme, enemy or boss anymore due to one simple fact: I already know I will buy the game. Whenever people ask me why I'm so hyper spoiler sensitive, I tell them that first, I just love surprises, what can I say, I'm a stupid child, and second, there's no logic in watching trailers of something you're already convinced of buying. By no means I want to attack people absorbing every information available online, to each his own. I'm the complete opposite when it comes to Smash Bros, because there's just no way someone can avoid spoilers for this game, and the trailers are just begging to be seen with great spectacles. The same goes for Mario Strikers or the new DLC for Mario Kart 8. I will gladly watch which characters or courses will be added to those games. The Forgotten Land is different, however. The lesser I see, the more hyped I get, which ironically is the main goal a trailer tries to achieve, but this leads to the second point I mentioned at the beginning. Put yourself in my shoes for a second. I waited over 20 years for this game. This is going to be the very first proper 3D platformer Kirby game, my favorite genre, and there's never going to be this feel of sensation for the franchise again, unless we get an open world Kirby game. Because all the other 3D Kirby games that will follow are going to build on that blueprint. You can only experience such a turning point in your favorite franchise for one time, which is why I want to keep this moment as special as possible. Just imagine being able to finally see one of your absolute dream games come true. I think everyone should be able to understand the lucky position I'm and many fans are in. Of course, I notice some things here and there. With a channel like mine, it's inevitable to keep your eyes closed from everything. I know there's going to be a multiplayer with Head Goomba, I know Meta Knight appears, I'm aware of the drill and gun ability, and I've seen some strange images of Kirby having problems digesting a car. But what I don't know is how all of these features play out in actual gameplay. What role will Meta Knight have? Is there going to be a level selection screen or some kind of overworld? Why does Kirby look like this? Is it some kind of new gimmick? To be precise, I don't want anyone to answer these questions apart from the game when it releases, because this feeling of the unknown and all these snippets I overheard remind me of the good old times where you hear rumors in your school and have to use your imagination to piece together all these confusing information without actual trailers. Having fun with one of my most anticipated games in my life is more important to me than getting potentially hundreds of clicks and additional traffics for my channel. It's not like I'm not going to make countless videos when the game comes out, and who knows, maybe I would have 1000 subscribers by now if I made videos and analysis about the trailers. Again, not attacking anyone who likes to do that, but you can be sure I will milk this game to death when I get my hands on it. What does that mean for the future though? Will I not talk about Kirby games and remain silent for every new title they will announce? Of course not. Every case is different, and even though I will generally try to avoid spoilers, sometimes even I just cannot resist the temptation and watch more than actually needed. A Kirby spin-off or anniversary collection has way less weight than the first proper big 3D Kirby, so naturally I will handle each case differently. There are a couple of well-structured analyses on YouTube, and although you may be interested in my opinion about it, it's not like you will get nothing from me. When the game releases, there are going to be more than enough videos I would like to do on the game, with the ultimate review coming in the near future in case you have forgotten. But what's your opinion on the topic? Are you sensitive to spoilers, or does it depend on the game you're looking forward to? Was there a game in your life you wished you had seen nothing beforehand, or aren't you a whiny child like me when it comes to spoilers? Tell me in the comments, as I need to block some channels and their thumbnails just in case.